Hi, it's Rich Tarani. Thanks for watching TMC Net's Editor's Day Santa Clara 2015. On our program is Ann Sung Ruxtel with Soasta. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you, Rich. I'm doing great. Thanks.
I should say welcome back. So,
yes.
I figured we start at the top. Tell us a little bit about Soasta, what you guys do.
Sure. Soasta is a performance analytics company. So we manage everything digital on performance. So this could be your website or your mobile application or increasingly the Internet of Things as well. And to make sure that the stack that you invested called digital infrastructure is working correctly as measured by customer experience, conversion, IT performance, and business metrics. So we'll make sure everything works together and is doing what they're intended to do.
Fantastic. And what sorts of reports do you give back to the company in terms of what could be wrong?
Oh, my goodness. Let's see, Walmart last year, or this year, invested about $1.5 billion in e-commerce infrastructure. So for these guys, the front end, the application, the mobile experience, the middleware, the back end, all of that have to work in concert to make sure that they're delivering the user experience, the sales conversion, the service, and the monetization they need to have. So we will provide forensic understanding in real time that if something is not working and performing correctly, is it on the Android device or on the iPhone? Is it on certain geography? Is it with a certain part of your web pages? So it could be your payment page, it could be your merchandising page. What part of it is not performing as well? And then we can go straight all the way down to your third party. So for a lot of our retailers, about 41 of the top 100 internet retailers actually run on Soasta. So for these guys, when they present a page to Rich, you could be looking at advertising, it could be user-generated feedback, it could be feedback score, or shipping information. If any of those third party are not servicing and delivering the content correctly, then your whole user experience just went south. So you could be losing a deal on top of it, possibly
sure.
incurring
an abandoned cart or something like that, right?
All of those. It could be as easy as just even browsing. You don't want to
sure.
lose them during the browsing session either. So we will look at the whole thing to make sure that, is it your service? Is it third-party services? Is it your middleware? Maybe your CDN is not configured correctly. It could be your Amazon, AWS instances, or it could be Rackspace or VMware, whatever the case might be.
Right.
So we keep an eye on the whole stack. And so when something doesn't work in real time, our guys are actually looking at it and they know what's happening on the monetization level, so the dollar signs, user experience level, so that you can actually have a business conversation first, and then you go into the IT, then you go into the business metrics. So nowadays, those, I call the holy trinity, those three things have to be aligned for you to know if your business is performing correctly.
Wow, it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Time has changed. It's not a NOC anymore. It's a digital operations center now.
Sure, and like you said, all these pieces have to work together, otherwise the customer experience is poor.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And most of it, you and I as consumers were very impatient. We actually looked at, for Mother's Day, what is the average response time of a site or mobile application to the user? And the answer came back to be 2.5 seconds. So if you're not responding within 2.5 seconds, your conversion rate drops off precipitously. So you really kind of have to have a performance quota nowadays. That's a collection of your creative team and your back-end team.
Sure.
And they have to work in concert for sure.
Sure. And now the devices, the smartphones are getting so blazingly fast. Like, for example, the iPhone 6s and the 6s Plus are such fast devices in terms of rendering that I think consumers are going to probably want half that time in terms of the response.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? Faster is not better. People don't know this. In certain countries like Australia, 6 seconds is perfect. Whereas in the United States nowadays, 2 seconds, whether it's on mobile devices or on desktop. So it has to be the right speed, not necessarily the faster speed. But you're right. The client software or the client devices are getting so powerful nowadays that between the client and the server backend, they're both working in concert. So yes, but you still need to manage how well is the user reacting to that collective experience at large. So we're looking at, for example, for Amazon, if they slow down by 100 milliseconds, that means 1% less sales. So as of the sales number last year, we're talking about $460 million. For Google, if they slow down by 100 milliseconds, that means 0.2% less searches. That means less ads being displayed as the results page. That means $45 million. So for a lot of these companies that are digital in nature, they actually get the empirical relationship between performance and revenue. So it's a different game now. It's not just high availability, whether you're up or not or down, but rather how fast are you performing overall.
Very exciting. And so really there's a return on, you've actually showed the ROI for some of the customers or potential customers out there.
Mm-hmm. And maybe more.
Is there anything else that the people that might buy from you should know before we close out the interview? Anything else you want to say?
I would say for the longest time, us as an industry invest a lot of money on the back end to make sure that the servers are redundant, the networking are redundant, but majority of the problem that we're seeing nowadays on the front end. So it's within the application, within your website, within your mobile apps. And given the fact that last year about half of the traffic for e-commerce are coming from mobile devices, even though only about a third of the transaction are happening on mobile devices. But that's the trend, where it's going. So you have to get a handle on your entire digital experience and all those infrastructure that you're investing in. Don't lose sight of the fact that your back end, your databases, and your server probably working pretty well. Where the battle is being fought nowadays is on the front end. So pay attention to the front end. That would be our advice to the companies at large.
Great advice. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for
having
us.
Great to see you as always.
Yeah, same here.